Hey, good morning everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Richard Shercliffe. I head marketing for phil&teds, and I'm joined this morning by Alana Gray, who runs all our worldwide product launches, and probably just out of shot, I suspect, Nicola Cloherty, who runs our global PR. Thank you very much for joining us. We've not done this before for our consumer friends, but we thought it was a useful thing to do, to leverage technology to give you guys the opportunity to ask us some questions about these new products, Dot and Nav, which we're incredibly excited about. So the structure of this will be largely tuned to Q&A, because we want to give you as much opportunity as we possibly can to ask us loads of curly questions. Thank you to those people who have already sent us literally hundreds of questions. We've tried to work our way through them and distill them into similar questions so that we can actually get through them in the time available. What we will do first up, I think, is I'll turn it over to Alana in just a moment, and she will walk you through a little presentation which actually explains the differences, the key differences, I suppose, between the Dot and the Nav, navigator, I should say. We're a bit colloquial down here in New Zealand, especially at this hour of the morning. After that little presentation, that's just a few minutes long, then we'll walk into some Q&A, and Nicola will run that for us. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping for those people who do want to ask us questions along the way. Nicola will explain the process. Next.
Yeah, you can ask any questions via our Facebook page or via the YouTube channel, which you should have as well on the Facebook page, or be emailed out to. And also you can email any questions to webinar@phil&teds.com.
Okay, and if you have any... So Jeff Bentley, web guy, who's another part of the world, is currently telling us that he's having some sound issues. If anyone else is having some sound issues, just let us know. But we're hearing everything coming through beautifully elsewhere. So look, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Alana, and please keep those questions flowing. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. As Rich said, we have had a huge number of questions come through, so I'm going to do my best to try and answer some of those with some product information. So basically, we'd like to introduce you to phil&teds. So at phil&teds, we're really about helping parents to adapt and survive and avoid becoming prisoners of the nursery. So we really want to help parents live a dynamic life with their kids. And we've been doing it for 15 odd years now, so that's quite a long time, and we really were the pioneers of the inline buggy. Now, those of you who aren't familiar with an inline is basically a buggy or a stroller that can either take one or two children with the footprint of just one. So that was a real innovative creation when that came along, and we've been honing that design for 15 years now, and we've got nearly 1 million happy parents out there using their phil&teds buggies, so that's fantastic. So I'd like to introduce you to our new strollers that we've got coming through, Dot and Navigator. So Dot is the ultra compact inline. So as I said, the inline is the buggy that can take one or two children, and Dot is our most compact inline that we've ever had available. So for those people who really value compactness and want or live their lives in and around the city, but still want that full-size seat, so no issues in terms of compromise there with the full-size seat, and still has the ability to go over multiple types of urban terrain. So in the city, you find that you've got strollers and curbs, you've got gravel, you've got footpath, so you still need the ability to go over that urban terrain. So Dot's really the perfect choice. So as I said, Dot is the most compact inline, yet retains that full-size seat. So it's actually 15% smaller than the Explorer. And so it's 59 centimetres wide. It's got the same seat size as the Explorer or the Navigator, and it weighs just 12 kilo or 26 pounds. So in terms of main seat load, you can have up to 20 kilos or 44 pounds in that main seat. So still quite a high maximum load there.
So it's really just clever engineering, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To allow the seat to remain the same width, same length, and yet the overall carriage to be narrower.
Yeah, so pretty pretty clever design, really. So Dot's got these nifty compact 10-inch wheels. So it's got pneumatic tyres, so it makes it super easy to navigate in and around aisles, in the city and shops, etc. The double kit, which is the second seat that you can add to allow the buggy or the stroller to take 2 children, has a recline on it, so it's really easy to go from the upright position to the recline position. It can take, on the rear position, which is what you can see there, it can take 15 kilo. On the front position, it can take 20 kilo.
What's that in pounds?
So in pounds, 20 kilos, 44 pounds, so that's the maximum load on the front, and 33 pounds on the back there. That's a good point, thanks for reminding me of that. Now we have had a few questions about the compatibility of the double kit, and unfortunately it's not compatible with the Explorer buggy. One other thing that you can't quite see there is that the Dot has a foot brake, so it's a foot park brake, nice and easy to engage.
Paul, we've just been joined by Paul, who's a key part of our engineering crew, and a key question around the double kit relating to the compatibility is, why isn't it compatible with the Explorer? Paul, do you want to talk to that point?
Yeah, well, one of the new features on the Dot Navigator over the Explorer is the adjustability of the DK. The seat now has a recline mode, which we never had before on the Explorer. So this means that the connection points that the double kit attaches to are now a different width apart than the Explorer, because to allow for the mechanism. So unfortunately it won't fit on the Explorer, but obviously you get that cool new feature in the Dot Navigator.
Right, magic.
Cool. So the Dot is compatible with a range of car seat adapters, so you can simply add on the adapter and use a range of capsules. So it's compatible with the phil&teds Bebby, the Safe and Sound Unity, Pig Perigo Primo Viaggio, the phil&teds Optimum, Graco Snug Ride, Maxi Cozy Cabrio Fix, Pebble and Miko, and the Kiko Key Fit. So obviously the availability of those capsules does differ by market, but those are the full range that it's compatible with. One of the fabulous new accessories that we've introduced for Dot is the snug carry cot. So this is a great option if you're using it with one child, first time parent. It attaches easily to the frame. You can take the fabric off and it's got that really lovely look about it when you've got that snug on there. For your older children, the Dot is compatible with the Freerider, and of course the other option is to use a cocoon with the Dot as well. So in terms of your colour options, the Dot's available in the apple, the flint and the chili. You can also buy customisable hoods for your snug carry cot. So you buy the snug with the black hood and you can customise the colour of the hoods there. So you've got apple, flint and chili in the hoods also. So moving on to Navigator. So Navigator really is the go everywhere inline. So as I said before, the inline's the buggy that can take either 1 or 2 children, and then the Navigator can go from newborn to 5 years. So it's a fully featured inline. It's got the full-size stroller, it's got all-terrain functionality, it's got premium fabrics, and it's got some additional great new features. So that's Navigator.
Yeah, hey guys, somebody else has just jumped on the line. We've got Joe from Pushshare Trader. Sorry, embracing technology here. So Joe will jump across to you shortly, and we'll just get back to Alana for now.
Yeah, welcome Joe. Alana, over to you again.
Welcome Joe. So in terms of your colour options for the Navigator, you've got a range of colours there. You've got the golden kiwi, you've got the cherry, you've got the black, and you've got the sky blue. And you can actually customise both the main seat liner, the double kit liner, the main seat hood, and the snug carry cot hood. So it's really a great option if you want to basically completely personalise your buggy and have a colour option that is fairly unique to you. Navigator is a great choice. The fabric on the Navigator is actually a slightly different fabric. It's a lower, what we call denier, so that gives it a softer feel. It also has a sort of more luxurious look to it as well, so those premium fabrics on the Navigator.
For those who are familiar with the mountain buggy runway collection that we released last year, it's a very similar fabric and feel to that. It's kind of premium, softer field.
So the Navigator has those 12-inch wheels, so that gives it that all-terrain ability, can go up and down curbs, over grass, over cobblestones, over pavement. Really great to navigate those.
Yeah, I mean the 10-inch wheel is wonderful across multi-terrain in the city, but the 12-inch wheel does really give you that extra ability to roll through bumps, etc. You know, beyond the city, in the wilds. Which aren't that far from the city in New Zealand.
So the Navigator, similar to the Dot, has that double kit with the one-hand recline. So as you can see there, the Navigator also does have that foot brake.
Just a point on the one-hand recline to sleep. We call it sleep ideal. The engineers with Paul in the room here worked incredibly hard to find the optimum angle for layback to get a child coaxed to sleep and comfortably in sleep without any head loll, without actually lying so far back that they resist the temptation to sleep. So, you know, as a parent, I can attest to the need for that angle to be just bang on.
Absolutely. The Navigator also has a range of car seat adapters, so it's got the same capsule compatibility as the Dot, so lots of options there. And the snug carry cot also fits on the Navigator. So as you can see there, it's customised with the sky blue hood, which looks lovely, and just a great option for your newborn. So as I said before, the inline really is the option for carrying 1 or 2 children, and we've got a few more options for those of you who are looking to purchase for your first child. We've already talked about the snug carry cot, which you can see on the left there, and on the right we've got a fabulous new accessory for the Navigator, which is the face-to-face parent-facing seat. So this is a rear-facing option you can use on the Navigator. Of course, you can still use the main seat on both the Dot and the Navigator because it is a full recline, so suitable for newborns with that lie-flat feature. And you do have the option to use the cocoon or the car seats, which you can actually use when you've got a second child as well, so with the double kit.
So this is really just about providing additional choice. You know, we've had carry cot solutions like the Peanut available in the past, and we've had so much feedback from consumers saying that they preferred the mountain buggy look, the feel of a carry cot, the structure, etc. So we really wanted to leverage what we knew from that side of the business into phil&teds, but also a lot of people saying, hey, listen, we'd like that extra facility to have a rear-facing attachment. So that we're really trying to cover all the bases, provide everything for anyone with the introduction of the face-to-face.
So the great thing about the face-to-face is it's compatible with the Navigator, and it's also compatible with the Explorer and the Classic version too. So those of you who may have those model buggies, you can use the face-to-face parent-facing seat on it. It is also compatible with some older models in the phil&teds range. And the great news is anyone who owns a mountain buggy, the face-to-face seat is compatible with that also. So the Urban Jungle, the Terrain and the Plus One now also have that parent-facing option. And something we've had a huge amount of questions about is what have we improved and what's different from our previous models. So this is probably a wee summary that you've got here. So every model we release really builds on that solid foundation that we've been honing for 15 years, and we like to introduce key improvements every time a new product comes to market. So the Dot and Navigator both have this unique tail-free harness. So basically this means there's no more dangly bits, and that picture there is illustrating those dangly bits no longer being there. It's really easy to adjust, so great if you're going out and you need to adjust the harness height, nice and easy to do.
It's an interesting question, isn't it? It's a common question whenever we release a product that is similar to a previous one or off the same kind of stalk, if you like. It's, you know, what have we improved? I guess a key change with this development, and Paul can talk to this if anyone is interested, and please ask us questions if you are, is that in the past we've tended to iterate on this particular platform from the previous incarnation to the new version. So there'll be little changes, little developments. In this instance, what the engineering and design teams did is to collaborate to say, okay, let's go back to first base, and let's build these things, engineer these things from the ground up in order that we can deliver two similar, related, but highly different platforms in the shape of the dot and the navigator. So to answer that question about improvement, they have actually been engineered from the ground up, and that's enabled the engineering team and the design team to deliver those key extra features like the layback double kit, like the face-to-face parent-facing seat. To actually deliver those is an engineering feat. So and to deliver those with the kind of lightness in the nose, so it's nice and light up over a curve. The goal for the engineers is always to have one hand lift with two kids in the buggy, one hand up and over a curve, and that's not easy to achieve. But it has taken 15 years of R&D to figure out how to achieve that geometry. So these guys, these two new ones, all new, they just look a little similar. All right. I'm being reliably informed that the Q&A session should start. Thanks for that, Alan.
No worries.
So what we'll do, if you don't mind, is we'll turn to the questions that we've had flow through already, and just shuffle over and introduce Paul Wixell, who's, as I say, a key part of our engineering team. Nicola's just out of shot. She prefers to be out of shot so that she can shuffle her pieces of paper and shuffle her various chat screens, which are where all the questions are coming in from you guys. Thank you to those people who are continuing to ask questions. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Although rapid, watching them come in. So, next, over to you.
So we've got some questions from you guys, and then we're going to join Jo at Pushshare Trade and see what she's been asked and just kind of get a bit of a feel from her audience as well, which I'm sure you guys all follow too. So, first of all, I think one of the questions that was probably asked the most was when can people get their hands on the dot? Everyone's really excited, and dot and navigator, and yeah, just a bit more information about when that's going to be installed.
That's a great question, and you're right, I think that was probably one of the most commonly asked questions we had. It's great to see that everyone's so enthusiastic about these new products. Look, it does vary by market when you're going to be able to get your hands on these products, but essentially in New Zealand those new products are imminent, so we're looking in the next week or so they'll be out to stores, and all other markets we should have them available, all other countries I should say, around the first week of August, so not too far away. They are of course in hot demand, so I would recommend trying to place your order as soon as possible, really, to make sure you don't miss out.
Yeah, and in terms of store locator, you can find out via our website, and it's probably best to get in touch with your local stores and see whether they've got stock coming in, because yeah, they're sort of selling like hotcakes, which is good. So you should be able to see them in stores near you soon. Okay, question here about the dot and its brake. What type of brake is the dot, please?
So that was one of the questions I tried to cover in the wee snapshot of the products there, but if you missed it, both the dot and the navigator have a foot brake. So nice and easy to engage and disengage the foot brake.
It's a pedal brake. So
yeah, pedal brake, that's right.
And I know you have mentioned this one as well, but just to reiterate for everybody, the weight limits for both of the seats of the dot and the navigator.
Oh, that's another good question. So 20 kilos is the maximum load on both the dot and the navigator. Now in pounds, that's 44 pounds. If you're looking at the double kit, which is the second seat that you can put on the dot or the navigator, the weight limit of that on the back position is 15 kilos, which is 33 pounds, or on the front it's 20 kilos, again 44 pounds.
Awesome. Can you just remind everybody how you take the fabrics off to change to the snug carry cot or the face-to-face?
Oh, this is a great change with these two products, isn't it?
Is that me? I've got to come answer that one. Brilliant. So what you do basically is there's zips on the side of the fabric there, so you simply unzip it on both sides. The fabric is on little capstans at the top, so you just zip the fabric off the capstan, slide it off the frame, and it's done, basically. So
capstan is like a peg.
Yes, sorry.
Sorry, a peg. So any misunderstandings there?
That's right. So really, really easy to take the fabric off.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so also, does the side pocket of the hood? No. Oh, start again. Does the hood have a side pocket like the Explorer?
The Navigator does have a side pocket like the Explorer. Yeah.
Two.
Two side pockets, sorry. One on each side.
Okay, and obviously we've made some changes to these two buddies that are coming to the market very soon. And just to reiterate, what are the kind of main changes from the Explorer to the Navigator that we've seen? I think that's probably a question and answer for Paul.
Yeah, I mean, obviously during the presentation and stuff, we've covered a lot of the new features that weren't there on the Explorer. We've also, again, as Richard said, done some modifications to the frame. Even though it looks very similar to the old Explorer, it's actually quite a lot different, especially in the dot, so that we try to make it as compact as possible for getting around busy shopping centres and stuff like that, without compromising the geometry of inline. So, although you can't physically see straight away lots of obvious changes, pretty much the whole stroller is different. So, we've tried to maintain that look and feel that the Phil&teds strollers have, but obviously designing it from the ground up and not compromising on any of the functionality.
Awesome.
Magic.
Okay, so, and a question that's come through quite a few times actually is about the cocoon and whether the cocoon will go with both the dot and the Navigator.
Okay, another good question. Yeah, and the answer to that one is yes. The cocoon is compatible with both the dot and the Navigator.
Cool. Okay, hoods. So a question about the hood. Is it possible to buy the bigger Explorer hood, Follow the Sun, and put it on the dot?
I can take that. Yes, it is. Yep. Yeah, why not? Yeah, the goal whenever we release products is to provide choice for consumers, really. So there is a point of difference between those hoods. The dot hood's a fantastic little hood. It's got a lot of headroom, but it is a more compact hood as befits the more compact unit. If you want to upgrade, you can certainly purchase a Navigator hood and swap it out for that dot hood, so you have got interchangeability.
Awesome. Good question here about the doubles kit for the Navigator. Is it compatible with the Explorer?
Again, it was one that we tried to cover off in the product information before, and unfortunately the Navigator and the dot double kits are not compatible with the Explorer.
Awesome, thank you. Question about the pump for the tyres. Is that included in the purchase of the dot and the Navigator?
Oh, that's an interesting question. No, it's not actually. We find that most parents or most people have access to readily available bike pumps, so it's not included with the stroller.
Awesome. Okay, so this one. I've heard that other P&T strollers, the child in the second seat in the bottom position can potentially reach the wheels. Is this true?
Well, I guess that the simple answer to that is any child in any stroller can reach any wheel if they're not harnessed in. That's a simple answer. So, no, they can't. If they're harnessed correctly, they can't. That is an important point to make, is that we always stress that people should follow the guidelines for safe use of any stroller, be it ours or any other manufacturers. They are designed so that the child, fully and properly harnessed, cannot reach the wheels. There are additional protection mechanisms, if you like. It's got rear guards on the buggy to ensure that should a child have excessively long arms, they still can't reach the wheels. So that's not a concern, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Good question, though.
This is a goodie for fellow Londonite out there. I always have to fit into tight spaces on London public transport. Is the dot any more compact in length than my old E3?
Yes. I'll take that easy one. Yes, it's a little bit shorter than the old platform that we used to have, and again that's been done from a compactness point of view, not only when you're pushing it around but also when it's folded. I know that we had a number of items of feedback from the old Explorer in terms of product weight and size, being able to get it into a compact boot, for example, of like a little Ford Fiesta or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
For those from America, a boot would be a trunk. We have a bit of a United Nations going on here. I think about 60% of the firm is not from New Zealand. So we do have some terminology issues,
challenges.
two of us and two of you.
Yeah.
Battle is on.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So somebody said that they've actually never tried out a phil&teds, but are comparing them to the Valco and the Bob. How are they any better, different?
Well, I guess the simple answer is neither Valco nor Bob have the inline capability. So what we've always prided ourselves on is trying to create fantastic buggies that can go from birth, so your first child, lie flat newborn, right through to 2 kids, 5 and beyond. And so in other words, it's strollers that grow with the family, and that's just not something that those two can offer. So I guess that's the simple answer. I think there are more in-depth answers around engineering, which are probably maybe a bit too technical to go into, but in this, for the benefits of answering that question, for the purpose of answering that question. But we've worked incredibly hard, and Paul can perhaps talk to this, at, as I said before, engineering that manoeuvrability and lightness, what we term light curb weight, into our buggies. So they feel very light up and over curbs, which you meet constantly in an urban environment. I think in a 20-minute walk that I take with my kids from my home into the centre of town, I cross something like 40 curbs, because I have to, not because I'm jaywalking. So engineering that lightness into it was a key focus for us over many years, and I'm not sure that I can talk to the same lightness for Valco and Bob.
Cool. Okay, this one's statement and question. I love the fact that my kids can travel in an inline. It's so great and easy for me. Do you have any extra storage options that I can attach to my stroller when I'm using the second seat with Dot Navigator?
Good question.
Yeah, the answer to that one is definitely yes. We do have a range of accessories that you can use for additional storage, and goodness only knows you'll probably need additional storage when you've got 2 children. So you've got the pannier bags, which is the option to put on the side of the buggy there. There's the option of the handbag.
Pannier bags? Just translating.
Saddlebags. Saddlebags is another term that you can use to describe those. So you've got the handbag, we've got the ditty, which is the nappy bag or diaper bag. You've got the mini ditty. So yeah, lots of options for parents out there.
Awesome. So I'm just going to cut across now over to the UK to Joe at Pushshare Trader. So that was me.
Hi Joe.
Here's Joe from Pushshare Trader. Oh.
Can we?
Hey, can you hear us all right, Joe?
We can't hear Joe.
We can't hear Joe. Got to embrace technology.
Calamity.
How about now, Joe? Oh. Just while we're getting back up and running there. Oh, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
There she is.
We can.
Hey. Seems to can either have a picture or a voice, obviously.
Well, we'd be delighted to have both, but since the picture's down, we'll stick with the voice. There we go.
Yay,
We're back.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us, Joe.
You're welcome.
It's the evening there. So Joe looks after, or his company is Pushshare Trader in the UK, and Joe had all the information and shared it with her audience when we launched Dot Navigator not too long ago. So Joe, I'd just like to ask you a little bit about what your audience have actually been asking you, feedback, and what you're most excited about when you get your hands on the Dot Navigator.
Yeah, that'd be good. Can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. Our audience here in the UK are really excited, particularly about the face-to-face seat. It's something we've been asked about we launched 2 years ago, and it's a question that crops up time and time again. Is there something we can go over rough terrain with my child facing me? And so for us here, I think that's the most exciting element that you guys have just launched over there, which obviously is coming to the UK in a few weeks' time. We launched it when we were allowed, obviously. It went down extremely well. We kept it under wraps because we're obviously very scared. But yeah, no, we did. We kept it under wraps. Lots of great feedback about the colours, about the fact that the dot is just that little bit smaller for those people who've got a smaller car boot, we say over here, okay, boot, not trunk, boot. Okay, no elephants in the UK. So yeah, no, all pretty positive, I have to say.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Do you think we've covered any burning questions that your guys have had? I think I kind of had a look, and it seems like most of them.
Yeah, we did. We always have questions here in the UK. We've got a very large Facebook platform, and we've asked a few times what did they want us to ask you, and some of the questions you've obviously already answered this evening. So I apologise if I am repeating anything due to technology lack, I suppose. The main thing that I got asked a lot this morning was, are you planning on bringing out any more girly colours? They want pink.
So the golden kiwi and it's not girly enough.
Well, apparently not. Apparently not. But I'm a mum of 2 boys, so what do I know?
I'm in a similar situation, Joe. Yeah, look, we absolutely have that in mind. Not immediately. At some point in the near future, we'll work our way through that. What we wanted to do was get these products launched with this element of customization, which we've not, to be fair, done before. Make available. We wanted to get those live, give people the opportunity to comment and say, we love the concept, we love the selection, the ability to personalize, and we would like, if you could possibly provide it, the following color set. And if we get sufficient feedback on that, then we'll know, we'll have some good guidance about what we need to provide. Yeah. So that's the next step. It's a good question.
Yeah, well, personally, I like the kiwi, but hey.
Girly colours. Girly colours.
It wasn't a complaint. It was just is there anything in the pipeline? And the other question that came up was obviously the face-to-face seat. Now, we just wanted to know, what do you see as the main benefits over using the face-to-face seat as opposed to a car seat?
Okay, all right, everyone's looking at me. Look, there are, again, I go back to the initial point, which is that it is about choice. So if you look around the world, Joe, you see different use habits in different markets. The US, parents over there are very fond of using the car seat, and I can understand that for the versatility of putting the car seat, the capsule in the car, taking it up, putting it on the buggy and going. In other parts of the world, it's less prevalent, that use. So that's the one thing, it's about choice. Second thing is that ideally, pediatricians will tell you that you don't want a child in a car seat capsule for an extended period of time. So they're fine in there for a period of time, but accepted wisdom about what that period of time is does vary, but it's in the order of a couple of hours. So what we wanted to do was provide a seat which allows the child to lie back, stretch out, not have that crumpled up, not crumpled up, but folded up, creased position that they get into with the capsule. Try and get the feet nice and low below the heart, so that really stretching out as they would in an ordinary stroller seat, or indeed in the main seat of these buggies. So we think that provides some physiological benefit. I think it's fair to say that they would move into the face-to-face seat later than they would be in the capsule. So they will tend to transition, I suspect, through a combination of being in the capsule, in a travel system on the buggy, and being in lie flat in the buggy, and then as they grow up a little bit, so maybe 2 months beyond, they'll transition to the face-to-face seat, and then having had, maybe 6 months in that seat, they'll feel the need, I suspect, to engage with the world a little more, and they can transition to the main seat. So that's kind of the transitional pattern we had in mind.
I think it's
quite important for the UK audience with regards to having a rear-facing seat as opposed to the car seat. I think it will go down very well over here. One more question, if you've got time.
Just one moment, Joe. I think Paul had a comment on the rear-facing.
I was just going to say.
Sorry.
The sort of main benefit with the ergonomics, as you were explaining, in terms of a child's back, obviously a car seat is a fixed position and it never adapts or changes. With the rear facing seat, or the face-to-face, sorry, being a fabric sling, so it's almost a hammock. As the child grows, the seat will adapt and maneuver to fit around the child. So it's always going to be supportive in every way it should be. Whereas a car seat, as the child grows, the car seat stays the same size. Therefore, the support might not be in exactly the right area. And I think that's the main reason why paediatricians recommend that you don't allow a child to sort of be in a car seat too much and grow up in a car seat, because it doesn't allow their back to develop, and it doesn't promote good posture and stuff like that.
I think that's right. I guess there's also the occipital protrusion at the back of the head, which is pronounced in infants, which means that if they can't move their head around, move themselves around, then they are at greater risk of breathing difficulties. Whereas if they can move around a little more, then they can get around that. So sorry, back to you, Joe. Sorry.
No, thank you very much. Obviously, we had the questions about the colours. I think the UK, they love colours. They love being able to change, and I think that's one of the things that's obviously very exciting. That at the moment, there's obviously, as I can see behind you, the different colours people can mix and match. And for us, for our audience, that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. One of the questions I had from one of our pushchair trader fans was with regards to the handle height. Is it any different to any of your previous models? Does it go any higher? Does it go any lower? Or is it pretty much standard across the range?
Yeah, it's pretty much standard. Again, it's quite an important feature in terms of the curb weight, the nose lift, geometry that we have, and have had in the past on our old Explorer platform. It's quite a fundamental part of the way that the strollers feel, so we want to try and maintain that as best as possible, so they're around the same.
Yeah, great. And the only thing I would ask from a personal level is if you could name one accessory that you would use with either the dot or the navigator personally, which one would be your top purchase?
Ooh, I think that's a good question.
People in the room, 4 different answers.
Well, I've got a 3-month-old baby myself, so the face-to-face would be the one for me, definitely.
I think I would choose the snug with the dot. Yeah, I love how the snug looks on the frame of both the dot and the navigator without the fabric there. For me, that's a winner.
I'm a copycat there. That would be me too.
Yeah, well, I'm a gadget freak, so I'd go for the navigator fully loaded, I think.
Sat-nav.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Joe. We've got a couple more questions.
Thanks, Joe.
Here. Somebody's asked, is the face-to-face available with the dot?
Good question. Good question. Paul can answer that. The simple answer is
no, unfortunately, at this moment in time, it's not. It's something that we are working on. Obviously, with the dot having that bit narrower profile on the handle, then we've obviously got to do some work around allowing that to fit in. But at the moment, no. But watch this space. Yeah.
Okay, and these are both actually also questions about whether you can use the double kit when it's in parent-facing mode with the face-to-face seat, or double kit and carry cot. Lana, you on that one?
The answer to those questions is no. So the face-to-face and the snug carry cot can only be used without the double kit. But we do have a range of options if you are looking to use it with 2 children. So you do have the option of using the capsule, so the car seat adapter and the capsule to have that rear facing for the infant and the child and the double kit on the back there.
Awesome.
Or in fact, as my wife and I did, having the second child in lie flat and the older child on the double kit on the front. We found that great because the youngest child, Griffin, could actually just engage. Because they're looking straight up at you. So
awesome. And what about the free rider? Tell us a bit about the compatibility with the free rider.
Yeah, the great news is the free rider is compatible with both the dot and the navigator, and the existing connector, which is connector 2, which you use to attach the free rider to the existing phil&teds range, is the same connector that you use for dot and navigator. So that's a great option if you've got an older child and you want to use that with them.
Awesome. So we are pushing on for time, so we've got one time for one more question. Now this is about the price of the buggies, but we obviously know that they will differ from market to market. But is there a, so for example, in the UK, because we've got Joe on the line, I'm going to test you now, Alana, the price difference between the two, so is it between the Dot and the Navigator? Is the Navigator more expensive than the Dot?
The answer is the Dot is slightly cheaper than the Navigator.
Less costly.
Less costly.
Less costly
than the Navigator, that's correct.
Yeah, so different features, different value point, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. We've had a few design suggestions come through as well, so I will collate those, and give them back to our design team. Somebody has asked, this is quite a goodie, about the liners. They get warmer and warmer standards in Europe and need a seat insert for summertime. So that's something for us to obviously think about. And if you do have any suggestions or comments or any further questions, you can certainly carry on sending them through to webinar@phil&teds.com.
Can I make a suggestion on that, Nix? Actually, it's a really good question, and we do get that a little bit. What we've sought to do is provide with our liners the optimum blend of breathability and insulation. It's quite a tricky thing to get absolutely right. So you'll see on both of these buggies that the seat backs are ventilated, so they have ventilation holes which are deliberately placed, very carefully placed to allow maximum airflow whilst not actually making it cold on the child's back. So the current liners are actually really good in a summer environment. Should you find that it's just so hot where you are, there are options I could suggest. Now this is going to sound counterintuitive, so bear with me. I would suggest you look at a lamb's wool liner. Now I know that sounds counterintuitive because typically we associate wool with insulation, but the lamb's wool liner will actually breathe, the fleece will actually breathe remarkably well. So it provides warmth in winter and does actually provide a cooling seat environment or less warm seat environment in the summer in the heat. Counterintuitive, I know. Trust me on this, I wear merino a lot.
Yeah, and I can vouch for getting my head around that as well, being not really know much about that when I first moved to New Zealand.
No work.
Now go, oh wow, it does work. So that's great. So we had a few questions as well about reviews coming through. You will see those trickling through. I know that Joe's going to get her hands on the Dot and Navigator very soon. So looking forward to that. So thumbs up down there. So do keep an eye on our Facebooks and follow our guys who will be reviewing those.
Yeah, look, I think we're close to wrapping up, but I want to thank everybody for A, joining us, B, for sending us questions through in advance, and C, for sending us questions while we've been online. My apologies to those for whom we haven't fully answered your question. We've endeavoured to do that, but if we haven't, what I think we'll do is collate all the questions we have now, the ones we've answered today, and any other questions that flow through over the near term into a document really, but a place on our website, and we'll put the Q&A up there so that so keep a lookout on the website, on the Dot and Navigator page. And if you're on the line right now, I can't believe I just said that. If you're on the line, you're on the line, right?
I have to say
Nicola will ping you with the URL for that Q&A.
Yeah, and hats off to a few of the Aussies out there that I know have got up at 5 o'clock this morning to join us. So
well done.
that's pretty impressive. So thank you very much.
They probably have a child already. Which
Yeah,
is 5 in the morning.
yeah, things for me that I lack. All righty.
All right. Well, look. All that remains is for us to play a little outro for you, which is really the video that some of you may have seen. It's on the website, which gives a graphic demonstration of both buggies. To thank the guys here for coming in very early to make this happen, and to request one other thing from those people who have joined us today, that has this worked for you? Because we haven't tried it before, and we want to try ever new things to provide information to you in the best way possible. Has this worked? Has it not? The technology, we know, can sometimes throw up some curveballs, so if you found that's the case, please let us know. We can seek to improve that for the next time we launch a product, which is never terribly far away with us. Look, thanks once again for joining us. We really appreciate your enthusiasm and time. If I can just turn it over to Jeff. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks. At phil&teds, we're all about helping parents adapt and survive, avoid becoming prisoners of the nursery, and live dynamic lifestyles with their kids. It's that philosophy that led us to inventing the inline buggy, the only stroller you'll ever need for 1 or 2 kids. Our 2 newest inlines, Super Compact Dot and Go Everywhere Navigator, have been designed with different parenting needs in mind, yet each has everything you know you need in a stroller and more. Thanks to 15 years of R&D and smart design, our inlines are globally safety certified and feature superior manoeuvrability for when you need it most. With really clever engineering, years of testing and plenty of sweat and tears, our inlines feel incredibly light up and down curbs, unlike the others. Dot and Navigator both feature an ultra-compact fold to fit in the smallest of cars. A reclining second seat that's sleep ideal, making the back seat even more comfortable and fun for your child. Air-filled tyres give the smoothest, most comfortable ride on all terrain, in the city and beyond. There's plenty of storage space with large parcel trays. And stroller car seat adapters let you click and go, even with another child in the back. Lie flat's always best for babies, so we've introduced the stylish, customisable Snug Carry Cot. When on the move, Snug attaches to your stroller for a stunning pram look, and can also clip onto a carry cot stand so your little one can rest off the buggy. For older children, FreeRider connects as a stroller board and rides free as a scooter. With all of these features, Dot really is the perfect inline for small spaces. And Navigator goes even further. With a fantastic new accessory, the face-to-face parent-facing seat for increased parent and child bonding on the go, and an additional parent-facing inline mode. Have fun with Navigator's mix and match colour range to create your very own look for your stroller. Dot and Navigator, the Super Compact and the Go Everywhere inlines.